Howdy y'all, it's Angela. I'm sitting here, and if you follow me on Parler, you know I'm kind of freaking out about this 14th Amendment thing, which I will get to in a moment, but I made a few realizations in the past couple of days, and I think it will help explain why it takes so damn long for me to get a video out. First of all, I was actually never really that into politics, but what happened was one day it clicked for me that history is politics, and I was a history junkie. I mean, a junkie. Part of that was because my mother always called me a liar. And when you're 3 and 4 and 5 years old and you're always being told you're a liar, you really do start to question your reality. So what I started to do was play little games to remember. So I would start reading things, and this was at about 5 years old, or I would start drawing things or whatever. I would start mapping things to do memory games for myself, to do little memory tricks to help me remember things. Also, you know, it's probably pretty clear I have ADHD, so I'm a little bit all over the place, so it's hard for me to remember things, but I could remember history because they were pinpointed dates and pinpointed names and pinpointed, timelines, cause and effect in events. So when I was in high school, one of my where I had to live after foster care, the dorm leader, she said to me that I should be in politics, and I think I told you guys this. I was so offended. What are you talking about? But over time, I wish I had listened to her when I was 18. God damn, I wish I had listened to her. Anyways, when I realized that history is politics, I started to be able to pinpoint cause and effect as well, which was another big thing for me in my household, because I was like, all right, what set Ann off? All right, she's freaking out like this, she's behaving like that, what set her off? So I was looking for cause and effect, and I do that within my own personality too. Okay, why am I behaving like whatever? Point being, when you have a pretty strong background in history, especially when you can pull out dates and names and whatnot, you can say, okay, this was happening at this point in time, so I understand the rationale behind this move, behind this execution, behind this law, behind this change. You can see the path of progression. That's what mankind history is it not? So when Glenn Beck had put out the, when I answered the opening for Glenn Beck, I was ready. I was prepared. I was going in for history stuff. I didn't really understand politics, but I was thrown into the middle of George Soros, and then the Arab Spring was right on top of that. So I had to sort of start understanding history applying what I understood about history in real time. And all of a sudden, I was making connections that other people couldn't, because I had a foundational understanding of history. I couldn't get into all the nitty-gritty. I'm not a scholar or, some PhD in any minute aspect of it. But that's the other part of it. I am a big picture looker. I see connections all over the place. So what starts to happen is, oh, I understand why they did that. Well, you can't, because people say, well, that's stupid. That was a wrong law. Well, if you understand where it came from, it will all start to make sense. To that end, I've been sitting here thinking, what the hell? There's nothing we can do about mayors. I get that it's local, and I get the Insurrection Act, but there's got to be something else. There's got to be an in-between to handle all of these out-of-control mayors, governors, just prosecutors. Soros, you guys know. Anyways, but the prosecutors, there's got to be something. And I started thinking about it. I'm like, what about the Civil War? The 14th Amendment. I don't think they taught us right, people. The 14th Amendment, and that's where this video is going to take us. As you can imagine, when they wrote the 14th Amendment, it was during Reconstruction. People were sensitive. The North was pretty damn angry at the South. The South was really bitter, still are in many areas to this day. A lot of resentment holdover. We always learn about Section 1 of the 14th Amendment, which, gave citizenship birthright, which has been wholly abused since that time, has it not? But, it also had due process, equal protections, all that good stuff. You can actually consider the 14th Amendment to be sort of a Constitution 2.0. I've talked about it before. When they wrote the Constitution, they punted. They knew it. They knew slavery was going to be a freaking problem. They did. But they punted. And it gave us the Civil War, which made us act. It forced the act. And you can almost consider, again, the 14th Amendment, a Constitution 2.0. It's not like other amendments. It lays out very specifically all of these different things, but we only were ever really taught about Section 1. here's the thing. You think that's all they were worried about back then? Was just making sure that everybody was equal and that we weren't going to have a fight about that? Oh, hell no. They knew insurrection. They had lived insurrection. They had lived spies and lies and an assassination of their dear president. So, of course they were going to protect themselves. That got me thinking. I went in, and I'm not going to lie, I'm not like some, I am not somebody that has, dove. I have not dug into the Constitution, subsections on that level. And I, much like everybody else, wasn't really thinking beyond what the first Section 1 of the 14th Amendment meant. But if you think about it, they wanted to protect the country too. Not just the individuals, the country. And that brings us to Section 3. Well, Section 2 as well, but Section 3. I think it's going to make a stronger argument, and we got to make this video short because all the details are already interesting to me, and I'm never sure where to cut it off, so we're just going to do this real quick. Section 3 prohibits any person who had gone to war against the nation or given aid and comfort to the nation's enemies from running for federal or state office unless the Congress by a 2/3 vote specifically permitted it. And that's actually really kind of not even what the language was. Let me go back, because that's really kind of... And now I'm going to go over with. Point being, this can be applied, as far as I'm concerned, to, again, the district attorneys, the Ilhan Omars of the world, the Alexandria Ocasio-Cortezes of the world, the Ariana Press, everybody out there saying, go out, destroy your country. This is it. Governors, clearly, they're letting them do it. They're destroying our country. That is not protest. They are breaking the law because they are well beyond their First Amendment rights. Okay. Gets better. Presidents and vice presidents. I would put forth that the Biden campaign has actually rendered itself null. How? They bailed Antifa out. They bailed Black Lives Matter people out who went around saying death to America, who went around attacking individuals. These people want to bring down the American way of life. They want to destroy capitalism. They want to destroy Christianity. They want to destroy the nuclear family. You guys all know this. They are enemies of the nation. They should not be allowed to hold office. Now, it says, unless 2/3 agree to let them in. Even if the Democrats win, dear God, please don't let them win the House, because it will be another 4 years of Adam Schiff and his insanity. Even if the House stays in Dem control, they're not going to have a 2/3 majority. Which means, by law, guess who shouldn't be in office? Isn't that interesting? And the funny thing is, part of the reason I bring up the history thing is, somebody made a comment to me about my legal analysis, and I thought that was interesting. I am by no means a legal person, which is why I listen to people like Ted Cruz when he talks. I love listening to lawyers. I do, like knowledgeable constitutional lawyers. Viva Frei, I love listening to Viva Frei, watching Viva Frei, especially with Robert Barnes, because I like the two sides of it. And Robert Barnes has a lot of insights that a lot of other attorneys don't. And Ted Cruz has a lot of Washington insights and Supreme Court insights. And so I like getting into the nitty gritty. And so I had to ask Viva Frei last night if this was it. And he asked Robert Barnes, and they're going to look into it. I don't know if they'll get back to me. I had to put it out there. But in the meantime, I went and looked to see if this had actually ever been applied. And lo and behold, it was. And it wasn't. It was applied for something far less egregious than any of these people are doing. And the poor gentleman's name was... Hold on. Slow computer, you bitch. The guy's name was Victor L. Berger. He was what they called a sewer socialist, which, by the way, if we're going to have socialists, this was the one. He was actually not allowed to take a seat, not because of any sort of, riot causing, any sort of real insurrection, nothing like that. He expressed and printed his anti-interventionist beliefs in a pamphlet and distributed them. He had anti-interventionist beliefs, and they wouldn't let him take his oath of swearing. They would not let him take a seat. He was elected, wouldn't let it happen. So don't tell me it can't be used. Anyways, I didn't figure this out based on any sort of legal analysis. I'm a history junkie. Cause and effect, making connections. They would not have left the country without more protections after the Civil War. They wouldn't have. And there it is. Now we need to honor their legacy and what they were giving us, that gift they gave us to protect ourselves. That's it. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. Seriously, if there's a lawyer out there and I'm wrong, I would love to hear it. If there's a lawyer out there, or if there's anybody out there that can get the freaking president's ear, because this is it, guys. This is it. We can wipe them all out. Or I'm wrong. And if I'm wrong, fine. But in the meantime, I'm gonna kind of just like give myself a little happy dance every now and then when I think about this, and tingles up my leg. Anyways, guys, I'm Angela. Please like, share, subscribe. Follow me on Parler at Mother Issues. And you know what? Most important thing, this is going to be my message from now on. Talk to your kids about politics before somebody else does. Thanks, guys. Love ya. Mwah!